Hey guys, welcome back to another session on Oracle OpenScript automation techniques. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about some browser service methods. So most of you must be aware of that we use some of those methods to launch the browser and to close the browser sessions. So I'll be telling you some more details or some more methods in this session. So before I start, just a request to you guys that please subscribe and provide some comments. So because your subscription motivates me to create some more free videos and free training material for you guys. So let me know if you have some more requirement apart from the training videos which I'm posting. If you're looking for a complete training on OpenScript, then you can contact me on the email ID provided. Okay, and there will be some more information in the description of this video. So let's talk about what are the browser service methods we have in an OpenScript. So these are some of the methods which are available in an OpenScript for us to use. So I'll just quickly go through those services, those methods and their description, and then we will see the practical usage of them. So the first method, which is browser.clearBrowser. So as name indicates, what it do, it clears your browser history, browser sessions, and so on. So browser.close, it closes the current browser. If you have IE open and some playback is going on, or you are done with your script but still you want browser to be closed, once your execution is done, you can use this. So browser.close all browser, what it does is, so it closes all the instances of the browser. The difference between both of them is the first one closes only the browser in which the session was going on maybe, and next browser.close all browsers, it closes all instances of the browsers on your system. Like if you have Chrome, Firefox, or if you have some other browsers open on your system, once your execution is done, it will close all the browser. Or some people even use this method before starting an execution because they don't want multiple browsers, or they don't want confusion with the browser. So what they do is they use this method browser.close all browsers before even they start executing any script. I'll tell you the example how to use that. Okay, so browser.getBrowser, so it gives you the current browser detail, which browser is open and what's the current session going on. Browser process ID, so this method mostly you will be using when writing load testing scripts, but yes, this gives you the current process ID of the browser which is under session, or maybe which is active. Get Firefox utility, so it retrieves information about your Firefox browser. We will see an example of this. Get setting, it gives you all the current setting in the OpenScript. So this is an interesting method, and I'll tell you how to use this smartly when writing scripts. You shouldn't be dependent on all the time the OpenScript settings, because that's how I feel most of you or most of the people are doing it currently. But you can get the settings and set the settings of whatever you want, so that it will be independent of the different OpenScript tools the script is playing. So what I meant to say over here is, if you develop a script on your system, generally during a runtime it uses the browser settings defined in the OpenScript. Okay, you know how to do that. If you don't know, then you can watch my previous videos where I have explained how you can define the default browser settings. So you don't need to every time write inside your script which browser to launch, what setting it has to use. So whenever you write a script, we generally do not write all the browser settings. So what happens when you share the script with some other colleague in your team, or some other person, when he try to run it, the script will run as per the browser settings on the OpenScript on his machine, right? Because you are not explicitly mentioned any browser settings inside a script. So during a runtime, it uses all the browser settings which your colleague may have on his machine. So to avoid that confusion or to avoid that discrepancy, it's always good to define some browser settings in one of the function and call that function every time from the initialize method whenever you are running your script. Okay, so browser.launch, which is the default method, generally you will see this method in almost every script, because without this OpenScript can't work or can't connect with the browsers. Okay, and then set browser type. So this is also one of the method with which you will set or you will define which browser you want to launch or which browser you would like to work with. So let's go and see the practical example of this. So before even I start explaining, the different browser service methods, first of all, I would like to tell you what I'm talking about default browser settings. So if you go to view and OpenScript preferences, click on view all preferences, general. The general, you will see browsers. So here you have some browser settings. So remember, these browser settings are kind of an hard-coded only on your tool. So whatever settings you are defining it over here, that will work on your system. So whenever you are playing back the script, but when you share the script with someone else, like I said, if you're sharing this with any of your colleague or clients or someone else, then when they are running the script on their machine, again the browser settings which will be used during runtime is the browser settings on their machine, on their OpenScript tool. So that's why sometimes because of this discrepancy, script fails or script unable to connect the desired browsers. So to avoid that, you can use the browser service methods and explicitly mention, or you can override the settings before even start playing the script. That's a smart way. So here, if you see on my tool currently, the default browser which is set for record and playback is IE. I can change them using these options. So if I use Firefox, the moment I click on record button, instead of launching an IE, it will launch Firefox browser. Similarly for a playback. Now here you can see a startup threshold time. Then if I want to override, if my IE is not installed on a C drive, which is a default drive where we have your IE installed, if I have somewhere else. So these kind of issues you may face when you are working on some remote machines, on the remote servers where you have OpenScript installed and you don't know where the IE is installed. So you generally give the override path. So here you can define that override path. Similarly for Firefox, Chrome and Safari. So these are the default. Now let me click OK. Now if you remember, whenever you record or whenever you create a new script, most of the time you get browser.launch. So what exactly this browser.launch is doing? So basically this method helps us to launch the browser in a specified browser.setting type. So right now, if you remember, my default browser is IE. So the moment it executes this method, it launches IE browser for me. Now if I want to launch some other browser and not IE, what I should do? The one way is go to again OpenScript preferences browser and change from IE to Firefox. Other way, if I want to override that setting, like I said, a smart way of execution or smart way of deciding which browser you would like to execute is just define or just write it over here, so that whenever you are working with any of the browsers, whatever browser you would like to launch, it will launch it. Now let's take one example. So now this browser.launcher, this is basically an alias, and this is the method inside your browser service class. Okay, so tomorrow, if instead of browser, if I say browser 123, okay, don't get afraid, just replace this alias over here. So again it will be same. So now you can see browser 123.launch. Again it will do the same operation. It doesn't make any sense. So let's go back to the default naming convention, the default alias given to it. Now so let the launch be the way it is. Now we are talking about browser.clear browser. So let's write browser dot. The moment you give dot, you will see all the methods available under that class which are ready for access. So it's a clear browser. I'm using this, so it will clear browser. Now if I want to use close browser, browser dot close, I'll use this browser dot. Now let's see close all browsers. So I want you to understand the difference between both of them. And then what are the different different excuse me, let's say set browser type. Okay, so let's say set browser type. You can use over here this. So you'll have to provide, you know, which browser type you would like to specify. So let's say here I'll give browser type dot. So right now you can see I have four different browsers with which I can work with. One is your Safari, Internet Explorer, Firefox, and Chrome. So let's say I'm gonna give Firefox and then semicolon. Okay, so this is how I defined that I would like to work with Firefox. And then okay, let's see all these things right now. So before I, you know, start explaining you or start seeing the practical, what I'll do is I'll launch a couple of browsers for you guys. So now you can see I already have. Let me play back this first for you. Let's see what results it gives. It may fail or it may work properly. So you can see my Chrome is already open. You can see over here, and I don't have any other browser currently open. But when it will execute this close all browser, it will close my Chrome browser as well. So first it will launch, because the browser.launch is defined. So it will launch the default browser, whatever is defined in my OpenScript tool. Okay. See, it launched the IE browser because I have set the defined browser, and later on in my script, you know, that's why it launched the browser and it started playing and it closed. Very good. Now you can see it closed Chrome as well, correct? Because first it closed only IE, because that time it would have executed the command in the line number 20, which says close the current session or close the browser with which OpenScript is using or OpenScript is connected with. So this command will close only IE because that's what the browser I was working with, right? And then the close all browser, what it do is it closes all the sessions. It closes all the browsers on your machine. Doesn't matter OpenScript is even connected or dealing with them or not. So if you have Firefox, Chrome, doesn't matter how many instances of browsers are open, it will close everything. So that's the difference between browser.close and browser.close all browsers. So if you're working with Oracle applications, it is recommended to use close all browsers before even you start launching, you know, Oracle EBS or Oracle Fusion applications, and then you go ahead with it. Now let's see what happens if I use this command before browser.launch. Now it will launch IE or it will launch Firefox. Now let's see this. Now again, see, now I don't have any of the browsers, so I'll just launch Chrome for you guys. Okay, so let's say I have Chrome open now. Only one instance is fine. And then let's go and play back this script. Okay, it started playing. So I don't know whether it will able to launch Firefox correctly or not, because I recently done some changes on my browser settings with the Firefox. So let's see whether if we get any errors or something. But that's how you should be setting the browser type. Oh, that's great. So it launched the Firefox browser. You can see over here. Okay, so you can see it launched the Firefox browser, and now it didn't launch the IE because we have explicitly set it So doesn't matter whatever is there in your settings, it is using this particular settings right now. And now you can see, okay, that's fine. This as a default. Now I can see it's still playing. So, and now it has closed the Firefox browser, and now it will close your Chrome browser as well. That's great. I think let's go and look into console. So that's how, these are the some basic browser methods, and you can use them, you know, the way you want. And some of the methods, like I said, use the set browser type, wrap all those things in and put it in some driver library and call that, call those methods, you know, you can say the browser setup or initial setup or something like that from your initialize block, and use this close browsers or close all browsers kind of methods in your finish block. So that's all I have for today's session, and I'll keep on updating this kind of, you know, tricks and different usage with the OpenScript. And let me know if you're looking for a detailed training, and if you're looking for, you know, step-by-step learning of an OpenScript automation, because I have detailed course where I teach my students right from basic. So even if you do not have any background of Java or any automation knowledge, that's fine. You should be still, you know, able to learn this tool from basic, because it's an interesting and easy tool to learn. So you can contact me on the email ID given in the description of this video, and there are a lot of other videos I am trying to create on the OpenScript. So if you are interested to learn in a systematic way in detail, so do contact me. Okay, thank you.